Hey, stop right there. We need to talk. Howdy folks, my name is Roy Dugosh. I was president of or chairman of the Bandera Historical Commission, and I'm from Bandera, born and raised. I'm descendant of one of the first 16 settlers that settled Bandera, Texas. Let me tell you about Bandera. I was number 12 of 13 kids. I was at the bottom of the food chain, so I know what it's like to be hungry. And growing up, Bandera was the perfect place for a kid to grow up. Man, we grew up in the country, we did everything we wanted to do, but let me tell you a little bit about Bandera. Bandera is way back in the 1800s. The Spaniards were the first ones here. They got with the Indians and they saw the Indian jewelry and wondered where they got it. Well, it started some of the precious metal mining in gold and silver. There are 90 somewhat marked mines throughout Bandera and neighboring counties, which started the first deal. And then in the middle 1800s, some settlers came to Bandera and saw all the cypress wood that they had. And they started a cypress mill. Well, when my kinfolk landed in Santa Maria and Indianola, they got wind of the cypress mill and they needed workers. So the Polish immigrants of 16 families came up here and worked in the cypress mill making shingles. There's a hill between here and San Antonio, it's called Slide Off. And that's where the shingles slid off the wagon going into San Antonio. But anyway, the cypress mill washed away in the flood and the settlers were already here. They did farming, ranching, cattle, sheep, goats, you know, make a living, hunted, fish. And in those days, we were also had to deal with the Indians. So basically when the Spaniards were here, it's how Bandera got its name. They were battling the Indians and they had many battles. And the Indians and the Spaniards finally came to an agreement that the range of mountains to the north here was the dividing line. And so what they did is they took a bandana and they put it on a pole up there and they both agreed. This side was the settlers, that side was the Indians. So it was called a bandana, thus they called bandana Bandera. Yeah, if you come to Bandera now, the town is wide open. Basically, the main part of town is where 16 intersects with Main Street. That's the original part of town. There's two streets there, Main Street and 11th Street. There are a lot of the old buildings that date back to the early 1800s. We got all the buildings marked with historical markers. But if you want to feel the ambience of Bandera, you got to, I guess, start with the OST. That's all the locals, all the cowboys. It's like it was back in the old days. The bar's still there. It used to be a bar and a dance and dining area. It was, you know, that was fancy for us back in the old days. And like a lot of the shops, all the limestone, the original buildings, we have a building code where they can't change them, so they keep the ambience of the Old West, where you feel like you're really in the cowboy capital of the world. A lot of the stores are updated with modern Western clothes and everything, and artifacts, souvenirs. The general store is the way it was. It was actually a theater back in the early days. If you look carefully on the floor, you can see the number of the aisles where the CDs were. So that's kind of the way it was. We got the Silver Dollar, which is one of the classic bars that you need to see. It's the way that you think a honky tonk should look. You're going to walk in there and you're going to say, this is it. I always like to take people there because they can't believe it. Sawdust on the floor, dark, you know, dungy. and old cowboys in there, you know, drinking beer and stuff. It's just the way it was. A lot of the stores carry that ambience though. And now, you know, the latest thing is we got a brand new Best Western Suites and Saloon. So they made it into the ambience of Bandera. They tried to copy a lot of stuff. They got a lot of our old settler pictures in there, and they're enhancing the experience and making it more comfortable with adequate lodging for Bandera. The dude ranches all stay full. I mean, you come here anytime, horseback ride, and they've got the resorts all open. They have horse tours, historical tours of Bandera where you ride around town on horseback. I mean, we throw everything out to satisfy the public's need for the Wild West experience. Well, all the restaurants are good. They're all got their own flavor. I mean, they're all over town. I mean, you can go from a burger joint, even our Burger King has a Western flair to it. So we encourage that. When you come to Bandera, we don't want your routine, we want special. We want you to have something special done for this town. And so that's what they carry on, the patrons do. So basically, you're gonna find that Western flair or the Western accent in every restaurant that you go into, every store, everything that you look at here. It's going to have that little bit of a Western touch to it with the old wood, trying to make it look like it, you know, it should have back in the days. I really appreciate all of you guys out there. Bandera, I couldn't have picked a better place to grow up as a child. I had a great childhood. I worked in San Antonio. I hung on to the old farm, and now I've passed it down to the family underneath me, my nephews, and they're going to carry on the name, the legacy of Bandera and the Dugosh, the Polish tradition. And it's just, it's great. It's great. I have no problem. And I love doing what I do. I love talking to the people of Bandera. Like I say, I'm part of the cattle company, and I do a lot of different stuff. And it's just a great place. So come see us.